Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We gladly welcome you back to the OR News broadcast. It is now time for our daily English Flash News edition. I'm Daniel Cook, your host, and I'm more than pleased to present you with the Albanian news in English. In today's news, during today's celebration of Albania's Liberation Day, many of the nation's politicians turned out to pay homage to the various monuments in the city of Tirana. Prime Minister Edi Rama and Assembly Speaker Ilir Meta, together with many veterans and top leaders of the state, paid homage at the Martyrs Cemetery today. The state leaders bowed in respect to the Mother Albania monument and honored the sacrifice of the fallen in the struggle for liberation. President Nishani was the first to come and pay homage to the monument, but he was later followed by the Assembly Speaker Ilir Meta and our Prime Minister Edi Rama. Several of the members of the cabinet, the diplomatic society, the U.S. ambassador, and the Serbian ambassador also demonstrated their respect, placing wreaths at the base of the Mother Albania monument. Later, Prime Minister Edi Rama and the Assembly Speaker Ilir Meta attended a meeting with the veterans of the National Anti-Fascist War. The Assembly Speaker expressed his gratitude for the heroes of the anti-fascist war and pointed out that Albania would be lost and divided without the efforts of November 29th. Prime Minister Rama expressed that he is sorry that the liberation date is being questioned by those who did not fight in this war. According to Rama, those who tried to disprove what happened on November 29th of 1944 are attempting to downplay what was accomplished on that day. A military parade was held today outside the Ministry of Defense as part of the 70th anniversary celebrations for the liberation of Albania. The President, the Assembly Speaker, the Prime Minister, the Defense Minister, the head of the armed forces, and multiple ministers and ambassadors were in attendance at the parade. Minister Kodeli pointed out that Albania is the only country in southeastern Europe that gained its freedom without help. History is a rude teacher, but it must give everyone what they deserve, said the Defense Minister, Mimi Kodeli, during her speech at the military parade. Minister Kodeli said that everyone should be working together for progress, regardless of their religion, their region, or their ideas. While most of the media attention was focused on the state ceremony, the Communist Party also held a march down the main boulevard. As usual, they were bearing images of the former Albanian dictator, Enver Hoxha. The Communist Party said that the goal of this march was to show people that this is their celebration as well. According to them, it is the communists that brought about the independence of the country. The participants in this Communist Party display marched out to the Mother Teresa Square and then toward the Mother Albania monument. Even after the official state ceremony had ended, the Communist Party continued their ceremony alone. The formerly persecuted of Albania have chosen the day of the 70th anniversary of Albania's liberation to protest for their rights. For those who suffered in prison during communism, November 29th marks the fall of Albania into the grip of the dictatorship. They held their protest in the main boulevard, declaring that the state archives testify of a great massacre of 6,000 people. They say that these people were brutally executed by the communist dictatorship, some with trial and some without. Thankfully, the march was a peaceful one and went off without hitch or incident. As of the formerly persecuted, as they marched in front of the Prime Ministry building, one of their leaders, Mr. Artur Roshi, called for the political realm to find a common date to celebrate the liberation. Another representative of the former politically persecuted, Simon Miraka, said that the 70th anniversary of liberation cannot be celebrated in the right spirit when so many people were being massacred by the communist dictatorship. He feels that even though the cause of democracy won the day, it is not necessarily a day for celebration, considering that so many lost their lives. There was an attempted attack today when an unknown group placed an amount of TNT in one of the transmission towers in Fushkruya. The TNT was discovered at a high-voltage transmission tower in the village of Halilai. The Kruya Police Department have said that they were informed of the dangerous situations by someone outside of their department. The police forces rushed immediately to the scene, and a bomb squad was called in to deactivate the explosive device. Fortunately, they were able to dislodge the TNT without any injury or loss of life. The police have launched an extensive investigation in order to identify and apprehend the perpetrators of this event. There is a serious sewage problem in one of the neighborhoods of Durrës, and the residents of this area are being forced to live in very unsanitary conditions. Residents of neighborhood number 14 in Durrës are living with the constant presence of sewer water, which flows through a channel in the middle of their living area. It is thought that the filthy water may be the cause of some diseases that have been spreading around the city. However, it seems that the mayor of Durrës is either unaware of this situation or simply does not intend to take any action. Visitors to the city say that they feel like crying when they see that such a reality exists for the people of Durrës. The people of the neighborhood say that they only know that they even have a mayor during the electoral campaign. The lack of attention and maintenance in this area has outraged the residents. They say that it was because they believed in the electoral promises of the mayor that they voted for him in the first place. But now they feel that he is doing nothing to improve their town. Since the very beginning of the government's action against electricity thieves, many of the residents of Milot have been living completely without electricity. Many of them have had their power cut off because they failed to pay their electricity bills, and now they are living in darkness. The residents of Milot are complaining that they simply cannot afford to pay the energy bills. They say that the economic situation and the high level of unemployment is making it impossible for them to purchase this basic need. They, of course, feel that the cutting of their electricity is unfair. They feel that the problem that they are facing cannot be solved by removing their electricity privileges, but rather by creating jobs for them. According to a recent study, the largest number of modern slaves in the UK are of Albanian nationality. Analysts from the Home Office have conducted a recent study on the problem of slavery in the UK, and they say that there could be between 10,000 and 13,000 victims of slavery at this current time, which is much higher than any prior figures. Victims of modern slavery include women that have been forced into prostitution, imprisoned domestic staff, and workers in fields, factories, and fishing boats. The figure that was released in 2013 was the first official estimate that has ever been given concerning the widespread scale of this terrible problem. Now the Home Office has launched a strategy to help tackle the issue of modern slavery. It said that the victims that were discovered in the study included people who have been trafficked from more than 100 countries, the most prevalent being Albania, Nigeria, Vietnam, and Romania. There were also British-born adults and children among the number. Last year, data released by the National Crime Agency's Human Trafficking Center indicated that the number of victims of slavery in the UK may be as high as 2,744. The modern slavery bill that is currently being considered in the British Parliament is intended to provide the courts in England and Wales with new power. The bill is meant to protect people who are trafficked into the country and held against their will. Scotland and Northern Ireland are planning similar measures. After outlining the strategy for government departments, the Secretary of the Home Office, Theresa May, said legislation was only part of the answer. The grim reality, she said, is that slavery still exists around the world, including the UK. The time has come for concentrated, coordinated action, she said. Working with a wide range of partners, we must step up the fight against modern slavery in this country, as well as internationally. We must put an end to the misery suffered by innocent people around the world. This has been the English Flash News Edition. We thank you for joining us. Please be with us again on Monday for more Albanian news in English right here on Ora News. We thank you and good night.